Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the central forces. So let's start our discussion. So first of all, we need to understand the definition of the central force. The central force is a force that always acts towards or away from a fixed point, and the fixed point is called the central force, and its magnitude depends only on the distance between the object and the fixed point. And mathematically we can write that the central force F is a function of the distance r in the radial direction. This is the mathematical representation of the central force. Now let's see how central force works in case of gravity or gravitational force. Let's say this is mass m1 and this is mass m2, and the distance between these two mass, let's say r. Now here one important thing, this is center of mass. So for mass m1 and m2, the center of mass will be here, like say this is the position of center of mass, which can be written as m1r1 plus m2r2 by m1 plus m2. So this is the position of the center of mass, and it is always directed towards or away, as this is gravitational force. So this is always acts towards the center of mass. This is the center of mass. So central force is always acts towards or away from the fixed point. This is the fixed point, and it's always depend on the distance between the object and the fixed point. Now to understand this part of the definition more deeply, we have to familiar with the concept of reduced mass. Now we will discuss the concept of reduced mass. Now the reduced mass is a mathematical concept by which we can simplify a two-body problem into one-body problem. So let's see how this reduced mass works. So let's say this is a two-dimensional figure, and here we have two objects having mass m1 m2, and their position vectors are, let's say, r1 vector and r2 vector. This is r2 vector, and let's say this is the distance between the m1 and m2, let's say r. Action of r vector is like this. So we can say that r1 vector plus r is equal to r2 vector. That is r vector equal to what? r2 vector minus r1 vector. Now we will see the equation of motion for the mass m1 and m2. So for mass m1, the equation of motion will be what? m1, the acceleration will be r1 double dot, m1 r1 double dot is equal to, as this is the central force, so we can write function of r cap. Okay, and for mass m2 it will be m2 r2 double dot equal to, now see the force between m1 and m2, let's say this force is F12, and according to Newton's third law, this force is also equal, that is F12 is equal to minus F21. They are equal and opposite. So we can write here F of r minus r cap. So this is for mass m1, this is for mass m2. Now we can write r1 double dot minus r2 double dot. If we subtract these two acceleration, we will have 1 by m1 function of r cap, then it will be plus 1 by m2 function of r cap. That is r vector double dot equal to what? F of r cap into 1 by m1 plus 1 by m2. That is r double dot is equal to f of r cap, and this one is m1 m2, m1 plus m2. So we can write that m1 m2 by m1 plus m2, which is r double dot equal to f r cap. So see, this is the equation of motion. This is the kind of equation of motion which can be written as mu r double dot equal to f r cap. So this is the equation of motion for the mass mu, and this mass is called reduced mass. So this mass is used in case of two-body system. So for two-body system, let's say this is M1, M2. So to solve the two-body system more simply, we have to use the reduced mass concept, which is mu. Okay. Now in the second part of the definition, it says that the value of the central force is depend on the distance between the fixed point where the central force exists and the object and here this object behaves as the reduced mass. So this is the reduced mass. This is the reduced mass, that is m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. So this distance is considered in case of central force. So central force F, it is what? Function of r cap. So r cap is the radially inward or outward direction, and here r is the distance between the central force and the reduced mass. So now we will discuss some properties, some important properties of the central forces. So the first important properties of the central force is the angular momentum is constant. So we say that torque is what? R cross F. Now we can write that r cap is r vector is r vector, and force, it can be written as function of r cap, as the force is central force. Now r can be written as r cap cross function of r cap. So r cap cross r cap is 0. So this is the torque. Torque is 0 in case of central force. Now we can write that torque is the dl dt. So if dl dt is 0, we can write L is constant. That is, the angular momentum in case of central force is always constant. Now we can write that L is what? L is r cross p. P is the linear momentum. Now we can say r cross p is what? P for reduced mass system, we can for one body system, we can say this mu into mu v. So we can say L vector is perpendicular to the plane r cross b. That is another important property, that the motion under central force is planar, because here L vector is perpendicular to both r and v. So that's why you can say that the motion under any central force is always planar in nature. Now number 3 property is the aerial velocity. The aerial velocity is always constant in case of central force. That is, we can write that dA dt is equal to constant in case of central force. Now let's discuss these properties more deeply. Let's see how dA dt is constant. So first of all, let us consider a particle having a reduced mass mu, okay, is moving under central force. So let's say this is the position of the central mass mu at some time t. So let's say this is r vector. Now say the particle is moving like this. At some time the particle moves from A to B. Here this is B. This is the another position of this reduced mass mu. Let's say the time interval is very small. So this angle, let's say this is angle theta, and it will be d theta, and it will be r plus d theta. Now if we draw a perpendicular like this, so we can say this is what? This angle will be r sine into d theta, and it can be written as r d theta. Now the area of the triangle the area of the triangle, it will be what? Area of the triangle, it will be what? Half into base is r, let's take the magnitude r, and the height is what? R d theta. So you can write this is r square by 2 into d theta. R square by 2 into d. This is the area of the triangle. Let's say this is A. Now we can write that dA vector dt. Let's say this is dA vector, very small area. So dA vector dt will be what? R square by 2 d theta by dt. We can write r square omega by 2. Now we know that L vector is what? L vector is, we can say that it is r cross p. So we can write r as r cap cross p is mu into v. V can be written as VR cap plus V theta cap. So r cap cross r cap is 0. So we have r into mu into V theta cap. And where r mu, V theta is that is angular velocity, it will be what? It will be r theta dot. So we can write r theta dot theta cap, that is mu r square theta dot theta cap. This is L vector. Okay, so we can, if we write the magnitude, so we can write L equal to what? Mu r square theta dot is omega. So L by mu is r square omega. As omega is constant and r is also constant, so this term is constant. That is r square omega is constant. So we can write here that dA vector dt r square omega L by mu. So you can write L by 2 mu, which is a constant term. So we can say that the areal velocity vector is always constant. And this equation gives us the idea of the Kepler's second law. This equation gives idea about the concept of Kepler's second law of planetary motion. So we'll discuss more about central forces in the next videos. If you find this video helpful, then please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.